Crutchfield neighborhood. Brianne?
Well, Justin, we are at one of the dozens of homes that will be getting some upgrades this weekend. You can see the volunteers, they're working hard out here. This home will be getting some new paint, some new windowsills, and soon some new gutters. The Habitat for Humanity project is called A Brush with Kindness. Instead of just building one house, volunteers are focusing their efforts on the entire Crutchfield neighborhood. Many homes will be getting some much needed upgrades, things many residents on fixed incomes would not be able to afford. Now, Patty Robinson says she is overjoyed her home was selected for the project.
And I just didn't know what I was going to do, stay here till it fell down, I guess, because I couldn't afford to do it. And man, this is fantastic. I know they're getting tired of hearing me say, thank you, thank you, thank you. But
well, Habitat for Humanity is looking for about 500 volunteers per day for the project. And if you'd like information about how to volunteer, you can head to our website, kjrh.com. Live in North Tulsa, Brianne Palmerini, 2 News works for you.
Great project. Thanks, Brianne. Well, a man is behind bars in a decades-old missing persons case that has now turned into a triple homicide investigation. 60-year-old Grover Pruitt of Bristow is in custody on $500,000 bond, accused of helping to conceal the deaths of 2 women and a child back in 1992. He told investigators that his deceased mother, Ida Pruitt, and sister, Beverly No, killed the victims and buried them on property they owned. Investigators searched the site near Jennings in Creek County last month and found the remains of 3 people. The medical examiner will identify those remains and determine how they died. A preliminary hearing is now underway this morning for the woman suspected in Tulsa's 13th homicide of the year. Shakita Bulger is facing first-degree murder charges for the death of 22-year-old Emily Clark. On February 10th, police arrived at an apartment complex near Admiral and Highway 169 to find Clark with a gunshot wound. She died at the hospital. Today's hearing was originally scheduled last month, but was delayed to wait for the medical examiner's report.
Now, your 2 Works for You first forecast.
Happy Friday to you. If you didn't hear the news, we did set an all-time record yesterday for the latest snowfall ever in Tulsa. We only got a trace of snow. It was mainly sleet, but a new record was set. The old record, by the way, occurred on an April the 18th. So we broke the new record by over 2 weeks, or we broke the old record by 2 weeks. Nice morning for us right now. The sun is shining and we've warmed into the lower 50s, 51 degrees, though it's breezy and cold, especially if you're in the shade. 36 was the low this morning, so we did stay just above the freezing mark here in Tulsa. The wind helped to hold up the temps. Norms for today are 55 and 76. Now notice how much colder it is to the north and east of Tulsa. Upper 30s, this is where there are more clouds and still some areas of lingering snow flurries this morning. On Viper 2 HD, you can see we're dry in Tulsa, but off to our east, some sprinkles, some drizzle, and a few snowflakes around Grand Lake. Other areas of snow in Missouri. Coming up, I'll let you know when some of this snow will actually move back toward Oklahoma and what you can expect for your weekend.
And we are dealing with that winter-like weather here in Oklahoma right now, but the scene was much different 14 years ago. This was the scene in central Oklahoma on May 3rd, 1999. At the time, this was the costliest tornado in U.S. history, causing about $1 billion in damage, killing more than 4 dozen people. It tore through everything in its path for 60 miles, leaving its path carved in the ground. And coming up in just a little bit, 2 News anchor Dina Silk takes a more in-depth look back at the devastation. More patients of a Tulsa oral surgeon test positive for hepatitis. Dr. Scott Harrington is under investigation for unsanitary practices at his Tulsa and Owasso offices. The Tulsa Health Department says 4 more people tested positive for hepatitis C, bringing the total to 69. 1 new case of hepatitis B brings that total to 4. Fewer than 3 people tested positive for HIV. Health officials have not, though, confirmed a link between Harrington and those results. Meanwhile, Oklahoma's Office of Juvenile Affairs is tracking down at least 191 former offenders who were treated by Dr. Harrington in the 1990s. The patients were housed at the old Raider Center in Sand Springs. That was a maximum security juvenile facility that closed in 2011 and was later torn down. The health crisis involving that Tulsa area oral surgeon is prompting major changes in Oklahoma. Dr. Harrington is accused of having unsafe health practices at his offices, and now lawmakers and the state dental board are working to prevent that from happening again. The 2 News investigators find out what the changes are in our special report tonight on 2 News at 10. Happening today, the city of Glenpool is helping residents safely dispose of unused prescription medications. At 1:30, Glenpool police will be teaming up with the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics to host a drug disposal program. That's near 141st and South Elwood. There will be containers inside the lobby where residents can dump their meds free of charge. And the city of Claremore is helping people better protect their identities this weekend. Claremore is teaming up with the RCI Insurance Group for a free shredding event. The event kicks off at 9 tomorrow morning in the parking lot across the street from the post office. That's at 9th and North Cherokee. Also happening this weekend, you can find polka bands, folk dancers, and yes, even bratwurst. It's all part of German Fest. The German American Society of Tulsa is hosting the annual event at the Gas Building near 15th and Lewis starting today. Events began about an hour ago and run until 9 tonight and 9 tomorrow night. It wraps up at 5 Sunday evening. It should be a lot of fun. Still ahead on 2 News Midday, a deadly day to remember. Another look back at Oklahoma's costliest twister that claimed more than 4 dozen lives. But first, it's Fun Food Friday, and one of our favorite guests, Bronko, is in the Reasor's kitchen. He's cooking up his special baby back ribs. We'll meet with him next. You're watching 2 News Midday.
Tornado. All of them have been 40 or over.
All right, check. This is Bronko in the house. Everybody calm down, no big deal. We do this for a living, baby. Okay.
Now from the Reasor's Red Bud Farms kitchen.
It is Fun Food Friday, and one of our favorite guests is back. Bronko Carr joins us in the Reasor's kitchen.
Yes, sir.
Making baby back ribs and, of course, all the fixings. Gotta have those,
right? Well, here's the deal. I was going to do baby back ribs. I had some partners of mine. Said, man, but I changed the menu on you today.
So you're not making ribs?
I'm not baby back ribs, not today. Next time I will, I come. I'm doing some chicken.
Anything you make is good.
But
So
listen, I'm doing some drummets.
Either way.
Okay, I'm doing some chicken drummets.
Okay.
And I got some seasoned flour. Just 2 cups of flour, 4 tablespoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of coarse black pepper.
Okay.
Got to season your flour. And I'm just gonna season this up. Put this in here as we talking.
So step number 1 is the seasoning.
It is the season. Now I tell you what I did with this chicken though overnight. I took the chicken and I politely soaked it in sea salt overnight. Sea salt and warm water. Sea salt and warm water. And for me, it helps for it to retain moisture. Boy, listen to that sound, baby. Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Always a good sound.
Yes,
Always
it is.
a good sound.
So anyway, we get these babies off, and I'm gonna feature Sweet Mama D's and Who's Your Daddy on the sauces. And these here gonna be Who's Your Daddy? You know what I'm talking about.
Well, for those who don't know, you have your own line of barbecue sauces.
That's correct. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They're
They're
all
available at
Reasors.
Reasors.
Reasors,
And you have
yes.
7 of them now,
I
right?
have 7, yeah. I have 7 of them. The last one being a new one called Black Gold.
Black Gold.
Oh, he's a bad man, bro.
A little spicy?
No, it's extra sweet and a little extra smoky.
Extra smoky.
Extra
okay.
smoky. I went down to the depths and got that one.
Gotcha, but this is Who's Your Daddy today.
This gonna be Who's Your Daddy here, and
This one is a little spicy.
This will be spicy. Who's Your Daddy spicy, and I got in the oven right now waiting on us some Sweet Mama D's. So
Which is one of my favorites.
yes, sir.
Very
I
sweet
appreciate
sauce.
that. I appreciate that. I
Really,
appreciate
really
that.
good.
So how you been doing?
I've been doing well.
And you know, people still ask me, "Hey man, do you that news anchor guy? Do y'all really hang out sometime?" We won't tell him about that other deal, will we?
Bronco's been wanting to hang out for like 2 years now,
2
right?
years
We
now.
really need to hang out.
We need to hang
if
out,
If you do
bro.
the cooking, you can come over anytime.
Hey, bro, I
so.
got you covered, man. I got you covered. Hey, I'm pulling for that Miami Heat and that Oklahoma Thunder. What do you think's gonna happen on that deal, bro?
I think the Thunder are going to pull it out.
Man, I'm making a
think
mess.
the
You
Thunder
see I'm making a mess here, don't you? Hey, man.
It's a little messy, but it always tastes good.
Hey,
so
boy,
we're throwing
hey,
it in the oil.
It's Country Boy Fixing. Yes, sir. We get this in the oil.
Only got a few seconds left.
Okay,
so.
we get this in the oil. We're gonna put them over here, get them drained, put them in the pot here, put some Who's Your Daddy on it, let it soak, and get ready for your presentation, baby.
All right, so we'll come back and try these out in
Yes,
just
sir.
a few minutes.
Yes,
in the
sir.
meantime, if you want the recipe for what Bronco's making here today, it will be up on our website a little later on this afternoon, kjrh.com. We'll see you in just a few minutes.
All right, baby. Song, baby.